Cafe Anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 878. This is Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Today it's part 2 of my intern interview with singer-songwriter ALLEN CLAPP of the Northern California band, the Orange PEELS. We have a wonderful, lively, vivacious discussion about all things, about their very interesting band. We're going to hear them. Mike's Daily Podcast. Plus, we hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere, the engineer. Mike's Daily Podcast. Come on, let's you and I get down to brass tacks. For some of you, this may be labeled an attack, but I think that the Food Network is a lying sack and it's whack. They should be called the Food Game Show Network, and that is that. But Mike, we're learning to cook as they compete. Mike's Daily Podcast. If you need contrived competition to learn, my friend, that's weak. Mike's What's Next? Daily. Teachers will have to do podcast reality game shows in front of the class. Yeah! Our poor precious brains must be spoon-fed that much. However, I'm always looking for a job as a game show host, so, you know, maybe this is a good thing. Look who just walked in. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the gift shop supervisor, and oh my god, I really enjoy those competitions on the Food Network because they talk about the people and like their really hard lives and struggle and like the things that are important to them, and they always start to break down and cry, and when they break down and cry, I break down and cry, Mike Matthews. Yeah, there's a lot of crying now on the Food Network. Have you noticed that? And it's not just because of the onions. Oh, look who else just walked in. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, the only way to truly learn how to cook is to get your hands dirty. Pick up an onion, cut a tomato, and there you go. Wow, John Deere, what did you just make? Salad there? Well, it's the beginning of a salad, yeah. That sounds really good. Yes, well, you know, you're invited to come over whenever you would like, Mike, and enjoy one of our delicious salads. I can't wait. I want to talk about salads some more. No, you can't. Yeah, so that's why I think that the Food Network should change its name. Because really, food is not the focus anymore. It is these stupid little competitions. And that's about it. Wow. That topic didn't really go very far, did it? Mike, you could have taken it a little bit further and talked about salads. Here's something I discovered. Romaine lettuce is the bomb. I buy a bunch of romaine lettuce.
Mike makes music.
You take the lettuce and you stick it in the Tupperware, and then you can have it forever there. It's so good and delicious and crunchy, and then when you put it outside of the container, it turns all mushy. Thank you. That's going to be the next big hit song by Justin Bieber and Skrillex and Diplo or Diplo or Diaper or whatever that guy's called. Anyway, Cafe Anyway, what do you think about the delicious world of salads and Tupperware and the Food Network changing its name? Should it change its name? You can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, or you can comment too on Twitter. You can find me at Mike Talks and tweet me there, or find me on facebook.com/Mike's Daily Podcast, and you can comment there. We read your comments on the section emails from email and your common not so comments. And oh, yes, if you would like to sponsor the show, you'll be just as happy a camper as these guys.
And now, a big thanks to our sponsor,
Click It Ticket. They've been with us for about a year now. They have a large selection of tickets to the hottest concert tours this year. And you can find them at the top of the Mike'sDailyPodcast.com page. They're there on the left-hand side. And right now, Mike's Daily Podcast people get a special discount. Get 5% off your purchase of concert tickets, shows, Broadway shows, musicals, wherever you're going to go see some great live entertainment. just type in the promo code Mike's Daily, because that's the name of the show, Mike's Daily Podcast, and you'll find that link at the top of mikesdailypodcast.com. Also at mikesdailypodcast.com, where to listen to the show in iTunes. You can subscribe to us there and comment on the show, rate the show, and that helps more people find out about us, and we don't languish in obscurity as much as we currently do. You can also hear us on YouTube, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podomatic, Mixcloud, Spreaker, Player FM, and Ameristream Live. And I am doing a morning show weekday mornings on a Connecticut radio station from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. there, and you can find that link at mikesdailypodcast.com. Also, I'm on the air weekends playing country music on Country Crossroads Radio, a link to that at mikesdailypodcast.com. Plus, tell your friends about the show through our Instagram link, our Yelp link, and our Tumblr link, all at mikesdailypodcast.com. And finally, you can help this show out if you're going to buy anything on Amazon. Go through mikesdailypodcast.com first and click on that link that you see on the left-hand side of the page and buy whatever it is you were going to buy on Amazon. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe you're going to buy some undergarments, some delicates. Do that there at mikesdailypodcast.com, and it helps us out. Also, you'll find the picture, the Daily Podcast picture there, the blog, and all my past interviews are at mikesdailypodcast.com. And I'm about to lose my voice, so let's get on to the Orange Peels interview.
Into an interview.
Okay, cool.
I'm speaking with Allen Clapp from the Orange Peels on Mike's Daily Podcast. When did the Orange Peels, the first incarnation, got together? Because you had the Allen Clapp Orchestra and his orchestra, or was it just, it was the Allen Clapp Orchestra?
Allen Clapp and his orchestra.
And his orchestra.
Yeah.
And how'd you get that group together?
So the first actual incarnation of the Orange Peels was basically the members that I put together for Allen Clapp and his orchestra. And it was like we'd gone through a couple lineups, and then we had a real solid lineup. It was Jill Priest on bass, and she's been in the band ever since.
Ah.
And it was Larry Winther on lead guitar. And Larry and I, we've been friends since high school, and we played in our first band together. And after, like, around college, I'd say our band broke up and everyone kind of went their separate ways. He went off and played in this garage rock band called the Mummies that were, like, hugely famous, and they still are. Uh-huh. And, they dress up in mummy costumes, and they play this really kind of hilarious garage rock. So he was done with the Mummies. They were taking a break, and so I got him on guitar, and I had Bob Vickers on the drums, and Bob was the guy we hired as a studio musician, and he ended up, we asked him to join the band, and he joined the band. So then we had our first lineup of the Orange Peels in '97, and that was great lineup.
And then it changed over now you've got the new album, Begin the Begone, and what does the lineup look like now?
So that lineup it's me, and I'm singing and playing keyboards and guitar. Jill is playing bass, and my friend John Mormon, who actually he was our second drummer. After Bob Vickers left the band around the time of our second record, John Mormon came in as a drummer, and so he's been with us on and off for about, I don't know, I guess 15 years or something. And finally, in this lineup of the band, he moved on to lead guitar because he's a great guitar player.
Oh.
And so he was our drummer, and he's been involved with the band for a long time, and now he's our guitar player. And so because he moved over from drums to guitar, we needed to find a new drummer. And through a friend of a friend, we found Gabriel Cohen, and he's just like this great drummer. Really intuitive musically, and he's also quite a talented producer. And he and I actually co-produced this new Orange Peels record, Begin to Be Gone. So that's the lineup, and that's the lineup we've had for 2 records. So, I was complaining before how we never had a solid lineup. Well, actually, since 2013, we have totally had a solid lineup.
Awesome.
And so that's nice. And I think you can kind of hear that in these new tracks, especially something like Head Cleaner. I think it's that kind of solid rock and roll machine chugging along. It could be credited to the fact that we've got this solid band.
Yes, I like the machine chugging along sound.
Me too.
Of Head Cleaner. In fact, I was thinking, listening to the song, that Chrissie Hynde would call you up and want to join your band.
Oh, I would love that. My gosh, huge fan. What a voice. Holy mackerel.
I think she would like that song. There's something about Head Cleaner, I think, that reminds me of Pretenders. I don't know why. There's obviously a man singing the song. You, right?
Yeah, but it's me, so it's not like a real man. It's like it's like some hybrid, weird angel choir boy guy slash me. I don't know. I've got a really strange voice for a guy, so I've got a good range, so I can sing way up there. I sing like a normal person too, but yeah, that's me.
Chrissie Hynde was kind of a choir boy too.
Definitely. If she ever wants a guest vocal with Orange Peels, I would be more than happy to oblige.
Because Chrissie hits those low notes and you hit the high notes, it works.
Yeah. We might be more similar than even I know. Who knows?
And the name of the album is Begin the Begone. Now, you do not have a song called that on this record. So what was the inspiration for that name?
So Begin to Be Gone is, it's kind of about some of the experiences that happened to us over the last year and a half going into making this record. At the end of our Sun Moon tour in late 2013, Jill and I were going to, this was the last show on our Sun Moon tour. It was in Berkeley at Starry Plow.
Yeah,
we were driving there. Okay. Starry Plow. So we're
I played their open mic once.
Yeah. It's a great club. Great club. I mean, it's an institution in Berkeley, practically. So we were driving there, and we got stopped in traffic on Highway 880. We're dead stopped, and we got rear-ended by a drunk driver going 60 miles an hour. And it was like it was pretty horrific. We walked out of there like without any lasting injuries. We felt like hell for about a month.
Oh,
but no broken bones, no lasting damage. And that was one of the reasons. So we survived this accident, and it was crazy. And what happened in the next year is that we sold our house in Silicon Valley. We moved up to the Santa Cruz Mountains. We just sort of had a new lease on life. So the Begin to Be Gone, and a lot of the songs on the record are sort of about this, starting over. Head Cleaner definitely has that theme running through it. It's just about being able to take some sort of a circumstance or a life event and leave it behind and start something different. So that's what Begin to Be Gone is kind of about, I think.
Was it at that section of where 880 and 80 are together, and it's just north of the Bay Bridge? Is that where you?
No. It was actually between. I think it was technically in Fremont.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere around like Fremont, South Hayward.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exit that it happened by. When I'm driving, I'll know, though. I mean, I've driven that stretch of road a bunch since then, and I always kind of get a little tense. But
and for all those people that
it was definitely in the East Bay
that are listening, not in the Bay Area, 880 is on the East Bay side, so we're on the Oakland side, and it's this freeway that kind of follows the bay. It's not like right on the bay except for in a couple spots, but And it's a lot of traffic coming up from Silicon Valley going up to like Berkeley, or it's always busy, especially at rush hour. And all of a sudden, like Alan says, it just stops and people stop, and you're like, I sure hope to God the guy behind me stops. And that's just what you described to me as a nightmare. That's like my nightmare.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. The only, there's a couple good things about it. That we survived and weren't like, injured seriously or permanently by this thing. But the other thing I think could have been worse is like we didn't see him coming.
Oh.
We assumed that everyone else was going to be slowing down too, and so I actually sort of like I looked at Jill and I said, "Hey, you got a piece of gum?"
Oh.
And she's like, "Yeah." And then so she reaches into her purse and fishes out this piece of gum, and she's handing it to me, and it's right there. I'm looking at this piece of gum, just about to take it, and that's when it happened. So
Alan, wow.
it was surreal because, that was the last thing I was thinking about. And had I been looking in the rearview mirror, I think I would have panicked.
Yeah.
And it might have been worse because I probably would have been all tensed up,
You're right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
so. Yeah. It was just.
And I read online you played
hope no one else has to go through that.
And you still played the gig that night.
Yeah, we went on and we played the show.
Wow.
Once the EMTs and the ambulance people, they checked us out there on the side of the road, and they were really trying to encourage us to go to the hospital, and we didn't want to go to the hospital. We're like, no, I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to get in the back of a, I just don't want to do that right now. And if there's any reason that you think I should, I'll go. But if you just want to check me out, over the course of the next 12 hours, then I don't want to do it. So they said, okay, well, you're free to go then. And then we had to deal with the aftermath, the tow truck, cleaning up a bunch of junk off the side of the road that used to be our merchandise and equipment and stuff. And at the tow lot, the tow truck guy said to me, it's like, hey, I saw your musical gear and stuff like that. He's like, were you guys going to go play a show tonight? And I said, yeah, we were on our way to Berkeley. And he was like, well, I've seen a lot of accidents, and this one was really bad.
Huh.
There were cars all over the freeway. They shut down the whole road. This was a bad accident. But you guys walked out of there with you bruised and scratched up, yeah, but no broken bones. If I was you, I might go ahead and play that show and just celebrate being alive. I looked at the guy. I was like, my gosh, he's right. Well, he's totally right. And so we did. We had our drummer, Gabe, and my best friend Dan picked us up, and we said, hey, let's just take us to the club. I think we're going to try to play the show. So we did it. It was actually a pretty darn good show.
Was your guitar and she plays bass, were they destroyed as well in the...
They weren't.
Oh.
Stuff really got... I don't know how it happened. We had a Honda Odyssey. It was a good, solid van, and it just, it did everything that it was supposed to do. The airbags went off. Uh-huh. The back of the car crumpled. And we had a couple things damaged. Most of our merch was lost. And a couple cases got screwed up, but our instruments were playable and they were okay.
Oh.
So I still don't even know how that happened.
Wow.
Because when you see the car, I don't know, on some adrenaline high, I posted a picture on Facebook right after this thing happened, and it's just the car is just it's literally 2 feet shorter than it was before. The back is all ruined. The sides are all crunched in, and the road is completely shut down. There's cars and stuff everywhere. And I posted this photo, and then so everyone thought, oh gosh, what the hell happened? I guess they're not going to make it to the show. And so then when we walked in, no one was expecting us. Everyone was just kind of glad that we were alive, but they didn't expect us to come play. And so that was It was a really interesting night, man.
Wow, somewhere in heaven, Freddie Mercury's like, that's what I wrote The Show Must Go On about.
The show must go. Exactly.
That's amazing. Wow. Well, a head cleaner, you've already described the inspiration for that song because you were. Cleaner. That's the Orange Peels. I'll have part 3 of my Into an Interview, my 4-part series with the Orange Peels as we go outside of Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Part 3 we'll have on the next show. And by the way, I'll be compiling, actually you can hear all the past interviews that I've done. I think the past 20 interviews that I've done now up on Spreaker.com. Go to Spreaker.com/into-an-interview, and you can hear all those past recent Into an Interviews there. And I'll be posting every week the best of interview of the week up there on Spreaker. And you can also follow me on my Twitter that I've got set up called @IntoAnInterview. That's my new Twitter handle for that podcast that you'll be able to find weekly on the internet.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Tomoka River. That's where I am, the Tomoka River. That's that picture of me standing on a dock. We were at this great restaurant, my mom and her boyfriend and I, River's Edge, the name of this restaurant. And it's so funny because I paid for dinner. And I mean, we had delicious food, wonderful fish, great drinks. Such a nice evening. Beautiful. You can see the sun was setting. There's actually alligators in that river that I saw a couple, or actually I saw one. But I just walked right past it too. They don't hardly move. And then I looked down and I went, oh, that's an alligator. I would like to say that meal that I paid for was so inexpensive, even though it was such a nice restaurant. And I was just at a restaurant in San Francisco, and we all split the bill, right? My part of the bill was almost as much as the three of us in that Florida nice restaurant. So there you go. It's so crazy, backwards in how expensive it is in San Francisco right now. And they've got the tax they got to pay, a special food servers tax. It's ridiculous. Anyway, see that picture of me standing there on the dock, on the Tomoka River, in Daytona Beach, at the river's edge. Right there, beautiful sunset going on. Takes me back seeing that picture. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Mike Matthews, does it take you back to the time when you had your ears all clogged up because you were swimming in the ocean and your mom's chlorine infested pool? Yeah, takes me back. Actually, my left ear still is clogged. You should see a doctor about that. I know, Chely. It's an absolute thing on my list. It's right there. Right after yelling at Comcast for increasing my bill. My rate has gone up through the roof, and I don't know why. I need to yell at them about that. But I'm not going to do it on the phone, because that gets you nowhere. You got to go in person. Because on the phone, you get into the voicemail hell, the weird, strange labyrinth that they have. Mike, I love that labyrinth. It's got David Bowie looking like a witch. Yeah, he's got a funky wig in that movie, and the big thing going on in his tights. And of course, there's a Jennifer Connelly in that movie. But that's neither here nor there. We won't get into a Jennifer Connelly discussion on this show. No, we're going to move straight ahead and just let you know that the next show will have part 3 of the 4-part interview with the Orange PEELS and ALLEN CLAPP. Plus, we are going to hear from Benita the Rodeo Queen, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!